Do you want to become an author? Well, if you want to become an author, then you have to be a good communicator as well as a good presenter. So you need to build on content. At the same time, you will have to be a very, very good presenter because you will be called as a keynote speaker. You will be called for inauguration. You will be called as an influencer. So if you want to become an influencer, what I would recommend, you need to work on your communication skill as well as the presentation skills. So in today's video, we are going to take lessons from the Steve Jobs, the 10 elements of Steve Jobs' presentation, which made him the great presenter of all time. This video is going to be a two-part video. In the part one, we will be covering 5 elements of his presentation. And in part two, we'll be covering remaining elements of his presentation. So first video is getting telecasted today, and the second part will be getting telecasted tomorrow. So let's get started. So the first element is plan in analog. Steve Jobs made a mark in the digital world of bits and bytes, but for his presentations, he followed the old way, the pen and paper. His presentations look like a movie, and in every movie, there is a hero, there is a villain, there is a supporting cast, and then there is a stunning visual. Like a movie director, in his every presentation, he did the storyboarding for the plot. So before you go and put your presentation together in PowerPoint, what you should ensure is that you have done the brainstorming, sketching, and whiteboarding before putting your presentation together. He also knew that brain gets bored very easily. And as per the brain researchers, this is true. So Steve Jobs did not get a chance to his audience to get distracted. So all his presentations had video clips, stunning visuals, speakers, demonstrations, and everything was collected well in advance before he started to put those things on presentation. The second element in his presentation was creating a Twitter-friendly headlines. So for all the Apple products, Steve Jobs created one tagline, which is Twitter-friendly and which is less than 140 characters. Now, this one tagline or one headline gives the big picture to audience, and audience are able to relate with the description and gets that big picture. Of course, the detail about the product he covers in the presentation, and it is also available on the website. For example, when he launched iPod, the tagline was 1000 songs in the pocket. Or in 2008, when he launched MacBook Air, the tagline was world's thinnest notebook. So if you have a product and your tagline is more than 140 characters, it's a time for you to go back to the drawing board. The third element of his presentation was introducing the antagonist. Yes, the villain. And villain of 1984 was IBM, which they called it a big blue. And the ad, what he had created was stunning, just stunning. People went crazy looking at the ad because what he said was Mr. Blue wants to take it all, but there is only one company which is going to stand between, and that is going to be Apple. Martin Lindstrom, who is a branding expert, he says between all the big brand and all the religion, there is one thing in common, and which is there is a villain which entire tribe hates, and this is what helps that polarization of people around that hero or your product. So ask yourself, what is villain for you? It need not be a competitor all the time. For example, when he launched iPhone, at that time the villain was the clumsy or the cluttered phone buttons. So he said The current set of phones what we have, they are not simple. And he just introduced that one button phone. So what is your villain? You need to figure out. There is a very good book called as The Expert Secret. I have mentioned in my previous videos also. There also Russell Brunson talks about it, that you have to create your tribe, the people who should follow you, and that is the gateway to become a rich. The fourth element in his presentation is sell dreams, not product. Now, what do you think? What does Apple sell? Apple sells the promise of the better future, the promise of the better world. You might be thinking that iPod was a music player, but Steve Jobs has always seen this as something which is going to make this place, this world, a better place. And every product what he built, he had a very, very high conviction that it is going to make this world a better place. At one point of time, what he said was, I don't want to go to cemetery, die as a rich person. Instead of that, every night when I go to the bed, I just ask myself that did my team and myself is working towards making the better tomorrow or the better world. So ask yourself, what are you selling? Are you selling the promise of a better world, or are you just selling a product? The fifth element of his presentation was rule of three. All the Steve Jobs presentation, if you see, they are divided into three parts. The playwriters know that three-part works, not two parts or not eight parts. The comedian knows that this three-part works, not the 7 or 8 parts. Why? Because human mind can remember three things at a time. Two will be too less. 3 to 4 things human mind or human brain can remember at a given point of time. So in 2009, when he came back from his illness, what he said was Apple is going to focus on only three things. One was iPod, another was iPhone, and third was iTunes. Even if you remember his graduation ceremony commencement speech, there also he talks about three stories from my life. So he clearly understood that human mind is able to remember three things. So his opening and closing were also proper. So he will start now. First thing what we are going to talk about is the iPod, and then he will do the closure. Then he will move on to the second thing. Now, second thing we are going to talk about is the iPhone, and then he'll do the closure. Then third thing what we are going to talk about is iTunes, and then he will do a proper closure. So next time when you do the presentation, follow this rule of three, and you will be able to do the better closures. These are the 5 elements I wanted to talk today. And tomorrow I will do the second part of the video where I am going to talk about the another 5 elements. So hope you have liked this video and it will help you to better your presentation. What I would request you to, what are the topics on which you want me to do the video? Please comment in the comment section, write your comment in the comment section, and I will make the video which you want me to make. So that is all I wanted to talk today. Thank you so much for listening to me. This is Vijay Prakash signing off.